Good morning. Knit Tea Live is happening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody who comes in today. I'm a little nervous that nobody was going to show up because last week I was like, I don't know if there's going to be a knit tea because of stuff that I'm doing and volunteering for. And then I was like, no, it's fine. I can totally do knit tea. And I don't know. We'll see. Hello, Ever. Welcome. So glad you could make it. If nothing else, I have one person watching right now. I got my morning coffee. Excuse me, I dripped a little. But yes, I have my morning coffee in my favorite Katigo coffee mug. I should put an Amazon link to this because I talk about it all the time. Oh my gosh. Ever, at least you aren't talking into the void. Exactly. My biggest fear all the time. I don't worry about that so much anymore. When I first started this little, little it is little, but it's fine. Anyway, when I first started this YouTube channel, that was absolutely my biggest fear. That I'd be talking into the void, that nobody would watch my videos except for like some very supportive like family and maybe some friends, but none of whom actually knit. So it would just be like, oh, this just isn't going to be a thing. But no, people have showed up. People I don't know have shown up. I'm up to 350 odd subscribers right now, which is like amazing. I mean, I know it's not like YouTube amazing, but it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. Hey, good morning, Whitney. Yay, I'm glad you made it. Just waiting for a couple more see if anybody else shows up before we get started into topics. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. And if you're watching on the replay, first of all, give this video a thumbs up. Hey, Janet, welcome. I've been waiting on whips this week. Oh, you've been working on whips this week. Yes. Nice. But yes, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're watching on the replay, I'm going to tell you right now, last night when I was setting up the, scheduling the live stream and coming up with the title and everything, it's like, let's talk. And I was like, I don't know what. And I was like, let's do knitting confessions. I'm like, I have no idea what this is going to be. I have some ideas. I have a couple things that I can confess, but I want to hear your confessions as well, because let's be honest, we all know the things that we're supposed to do when we're knitting, and we know the things that we don't actually do. Not just knitting, crafting, whatever it is that you're like, yeah, I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, and we can just have a little bit of fun. We all need a little bit of fun. We all need some fun in our life because it's 2020. 2020 is just the gift that keeps on sending razor blades. Wow, that was brutal. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't trigger anybody with that. But yeah, oh man, 2020. It's been something. Anyway. Oh, sorry. Random things popped up on my computer. And it's like, whoa, what happened there? Okay, so let's get started. Officially. And please, if you show up and you start watching, just say hi in the chat box. Let everyone know that you're here. And I'm going to start I'll start with the confession first. So here's my first knitting confession. It's not even totally a knit. Well, no, I'll start with my first truly knitting confession. Here it is. So the advice is always, when you get a pattern, make sure that you read through the entire pattern first so that you understand everything that you need, so you are able, because a lot of times patterns will just say cast on, and it's up to you to choose a cast on, and you need to be able to read the whole pattern first to decide what kind of cast on you might want to use. Things like that, right? Like, just read the pattern first. I don't really read the pattern first. I don't. I'm always like, yeah, I should read the pattern first. And I'll read the notes. And obviously you read the materials that you're going to need. I read the notes. I read to make sure what stitch pattern it's going to be. Things like that. But I do not read through the entire pattern. if you want to know the truth, and this is just the truth about me, when it comes to reading patterns, sometimes it's hard for me to read through a pattern and just read it and totally like wrap my head around what it's saying. It just all becomes a little bit of a blur sometimes to me, unless I'm really sitting down and focusing. And I don't want to sit down and focus that hard before I start casting on. So I would just prefer to kind of skim. I skim through the directions and then I just cast on and I figure it out as I go. And I think that's fine. I mean, yes, I understand. This is not like a soap opera confession. This is nothing like my last video where I confessed to my wrist pain. That was my big knitting confession, that I had been experiencing wrist pain. But anyway, it was something I thought that was a little fun. Anyway, just out of curiosity, have y'all watched Friday's video? I know Ever did. You commented. And yeah, it was, I'm going to be honest. I'll confess this. I was very nervous about shooting that video and talking about having wrist pain because I felt like maybe I had been a little bit hypocritical, I guess, in some of my early videos because, and I stand by this 100%. I always say that if you are knitting and getting good even tension, getting results that you want, and you're pain-free, then you're knitting the best way for you, and that's great. And I was sitting there going, yeah, but Carrie, you're experiencing some wrist pain. Like, who are you to be telling people the wonders of lever knitting, and you're sitting here having wrist pain? And I was like very nervous, like, are people going to call me out on this? Or is this just my own insecurity? And I think part of me felt like, okay, because I found the correction that I needed to do, because it's not liver knitting, it was something I was doing, a poor form, a poor habit I had developed. And I was taking steps. Your own insecurity. Thank you, Ever. Yes, I agree. Even as I was saying, I cut it out of the video for time, but I did talk about this while I was shooting the video originally, and I was like, Carrie, you're just, this is your own neuroses. This is you just being neurotic. Like, it's fine. Everybody gets it. Because no matter how you knit, you're subject to repetitive strain and everything. So the important thing was, I think that I have found a correction that I can make to how I am knitting so that I'm amazed the difference it has made to my wrist. I'm amazed. Like, I'm very pleased. I'm still having to work on it. I'm still having to work at keeping the tip of the needle closer to my hand and not like creeping my hand back, which is my tendency. And I know when it happens. It happens when I adjust my hand to go underneath the fabric as I knit, and it's just something I have to be cognizant of, that I keep moving that hand forward. And probably at some point, hopefully, it just becomes second nature and I don't have to think about it so much anymore. Janet, I watched it and I tried lever. I would have to work at it. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I just noticed I didn't have the chat box on this. I want to fix that. Anyway, I just need 1 second though to do it. I watched it and I tried lever. I would have worked at it just because it is new. What I meant is I do whips once a year. Oh, 12 whips still to do. Got it. Interesting. I need to fix something real quick because you're not being able to see the chat box.